welcome to NTA's News Top Table for 90 minutes of news, reviews and interviews, treated with flair and an extra touch of fine detail. Tonight's budget of renewed hope to inject renewed vigor into key sectors of the nation's economy. President Tinubu prioritizes internal security and human capital development. Nigerians say they will hold President Tinubu to his promises of a better tomorrow. Ask for today's cushions to reach the most vulnerable. The youth ask for more consideration too. From Lagos, we have a special report on the Japa syndrome, an exodus of the nation's finest leaving its telltale mark in many sectors. In Kano, a protest turns ugly after the police allegedly guns down a youth. Citizens say sorry is not enough. Still on security, Nigerian troops uncover weapon manufacturing factories as the Air Force destroys illegal refining sites in Rivers State. A boon for born as NTA's Salihu Abdulhamid Dembos mounts the saddle. We have these and more on our lineup. Well, after all, the taste of the pudding is in the eating. I am Elizabeth Omori. Welcome to News Extra. President Bola Tinubu has presented the estimates of his first budget titled Budget of the Renewed Hope, which he hopes will prioritize internal security in order to create the enabling environment for social and economic prosperity. President Tinubu presented the 2024 appropriation bill before a joint session of the National Assembly. State House correspondent Musbau Danwahab brings us details.
President Bola Tinubu takes another step toward the actualization of his renewed hope agenda. The careful steps into the makeshift Green Chamber are as much significant as his first official appearance before the national legislators. His agenda, anchored on 8 priority areas, aimed to engender the development and prosperity so promised by his administration. But the agenda remain ideas boxed in here, and the chief executive will require the partnership of the legislature to unlock the potentials in the boxes. Inside them are the estimates of the 27.5 trillion naira hinged on projections of 750 naira to a dollar, crude oil benchmark of $77.96 and 1.78 million barrels per day.
Of which the non-debt recurrent expenditure is 9.92 trillion naira, while debt service is projected downward to be 8.25 trillion naira, and capital expenditure is 8.7 trillion naira. Nigeria remains committed to meeting its debt obligations. Projected debt service is 45% of the expected total revenue. The budget deficit is projected at 9.18 trillion naira in 2024.
The budget of a renewed hope underscores the administration's priority on national defense and internal security, local job creation, economic stability, human capital development, poverty reduction, and social security, among others.
I am confident that this budgetary allocation and directive will set Nigeria on transformative path towards a sustainable and resilient energy future, fostering growth economically, job creation, and environmental preservation.
Now hoping for diligent and timely passage of the bill, the President itemized his administration's resolve to review the social investment program, tax and fiscal policy, plan to contain financial leakages, create a business and investment-friendly climate while exploring public-private partnership to finance critical infrastructures across the country.
To improve the effectiveness of our budget performance, government will focus on ensuring value for money. greater transparency and accountability.
The National Assembly earned the appreciation of the President for its collaboration on the various legislative works in support of his administration, including the speedy passage of the 2023 supplementary budget and the 2024-2026 medium-term expenditure framework. Is asking for continued support and with a special request.
I have no doubt that we'll be guided by the interests of all Nigerians. We must ensure that only projects and programs that, with equitable benefits are allowed into 2024 budget. Additionally, only projects and programs which are in line with the sectorial mandates of MDAs and which are capable of realizing the vision of our government should be included in the budget.
The renewed hope budget estimate has now been laid bare before the National Assembly, and of course Nigerians who are witnesses to this are now waiting, just like the President, to see how the legislators will consider these in real time to keep to the January-December budget cycle, and most importantly, to see the fortune the budget holds for the country. From the National Assembly, Musbal and Wahab, NTA News.
Meanwhile, leadership of the 10th National Assembly has emphasized that the legislature is aligned to the renewed hope agenda as it presents an opportunity for the three arms of government to work in unison to meet the hopes and aspirations of Nigerians. National Assembly correspondent Lami Ali reports that President of the Senate, Godswill Akpabio, and Speaker House of Representatives, Tajuddin Abbas, affirmed this support during the laying of the 2024 budget proposal by President Bola Tinubu.
Our legislative agenda concentrates around it, and we believe its faithful implementation will augur well for our nation and put Nigeria on a new growth trajectory.
The House of Representatives will convene the first National Citizens Budget Town Hall to harness public input and opinion on this budget. We are convinced that this will increase transparency and accountability, improve policy making, and increase trust in government.
Strategic streamlining is the term that encapsulates the submissions by these two presiding officers of the National Assembly. They are convinced that President Tinubu's administration is determined to impact positively on all sectors and segments in the country for the good of citizens, going by his antecedents since assumption of office. The reforms touching on economic growth and diversification through agriculture, security and social developments, when effectively implemented, they believe will turn around the fortunes of Nigeria.
A modern economy is putting all our eggs in one basket. It is a risk we have taken for too long, and we cannot continue to tempt providence. We also believe that education should be prioritized and something done to stop frequent closures of schools.
The 2024 budget should prioritize social welfare programs to help reduce poverty and inequality. Equally important is job creation and youth empowerment in view of the large and ever-growing youth population. Failure to do this means failure to invest in our future.
While emphasizing resources be judiciously allocated, the legislature insisted on putting heads together for the good of all. In the coming days, the National Assembly will engage heads of ministries, departments and agencies of government as they appear to give accounts of previous allocations and defend their spending proposals for 2024. From the National Assembly, Lami Ali, NTA News.
As the joint session of the 10th National Assembly received the 2024 appropriation bill for consideration and passage, expectations are high towards having a new Nigeria. National Assembly correspondent Mohammed Rabiu Ali spoke to some lawmakers on the proposed budget of renewed hope.
The budget is also coming at a time when, as a government and as elected representatives of the people, both the executive and legislative arm of government, we must pay attention to the kind of social discontent that we have within our body politic and within the Nigerian society.
Remember, there are 11,886 federal government abandoned projects in Nigeria, one of which is Ajaokuta. So if these projects can be confronted in next year's budget, it will be very fantastic.
It is pragmatic, and it's in the new wave of dynamic approaches to governance. I see it as a way of making for better buy-in and ownership of the projects and programs of this renewed hope administration.
The drivers of any economic development is the human element in it. And beside all of that, the parameters that are ingrained in the budget regarding the projected growth rate, the inflationary rate, as well as the oil benchmark and other parameters that will drive the budget, I think they are all reasonable and achievable.
This budget aims to achieve the objective of providing security, which is a primacy to governance in any society. And then job creation is also very, very fundamental in order to guarantee security of any nation.
The budget estimate has gone up. The budget deficit is down. So, I mean, when you look at the details, you know that he has delivered a budget that is straightforward, very easy for Nigerians to understand.
It will address the structural imbalances in the economy. It will also stimulate the macro and micro economy so that there will be productivity in the economy.
Still on expectations, it is so far so good, but there is room for better information flow between the government and the governed, especially in disseminating the 8-point agenda. This, the reaction from a cross-section of Nigerians resident in Abuja on the expectations from the presented 2024 appropriation bill.
What I think the Ministry of Information and National Orientation should do now, the ministry itself should have a department that will pick advice from all these informational organizations, radio, TV, and people come or program, meaningful programs, suggesting from one economy, agriculture.
And when they have a blueprint of what they want to do, they should communicate. That's why that ministry is their information and the orientation. They should spell it out so that even when people are going through hard time, they know that there's hope tomorrow.
The poor should even benefit in this government more, because the president himself said it during campaign that this government is going to circulate round.
Like this minister now, what he can do, let him go round, visit from state to state, do the campaign. We are ready here.
By setting of program to all parts of the country, particularly in the youth and the women.
Meanwhile, the Minister of Budget and Economic Planning and that of Finance have reiterated that the proposed 2024 budget will rely less on borrowing and focus on expenditure management and strengthen revenue generation. Moplant Dakok reports that this was made known during the 2024 budget breakdown to the public.
Well, I believe civil servants or Nigerians should expect an affordable housing program whereby they will be able to either access loan to build houses, or they will expect a mass housing program where they will get houses for the families.
The truth about it is that when left to itself, providing housing for Nigerians will have to be really subsidized for a lot of Nigerians to access it. And then we have to also employ other means of delivery for Nigerians. We are looking at renting to own.
We should expect that there will be result, positive result, and support the government whatever they do as citizens of the country.
So Nigerians, with this present government, the renewed hope agenda of Mr. President, Nigerians should expect a lot more in the housing industry, especially affordable housing.
And that was Nigerians' expectations on housing deficit. Now back to Moplant Dakok's report on the breakdown of the 2024 budget.
budget estimate has a projected aggregate revenue of 18.3 trillion naira, independent revenue of 1.9 trillion naira, and FAC revenues of 26.6 trillion naira, among other sources of revenue. The proposed budget represents about 50% of total revenue and targeted 3.7% GDP.
The 2024 expenditure estimate includes statutory transfers as required by law. This is monies to different bodies that are determined by law, amounting to 1.3 trillion. However, I must add that in that 1.3 trillion, over 900 billion is capital spending. The provision of 8.25 trillion and 243 billion has been made for debt service and sinking fund to retire maturing bonds.
Minister of Finance is positive that the budget is based on realistic assumptions and will focus on expenditure management and productivity.
The budget deficit is being brought down from about over 6%, 6.1% of GDP to 3.88% of GDP. That's a huge change in direction from unlimited and limitless borrowing to focusing on revenue, and as we heard earlier from Mr. President, focusing on expenditure management to give value for money.
The two ministers believe that the items in the budget will help deliver the needed macroeconomic stability and mitigate the impact of subsidy removal. In Abuja, Muplang Dakok, NTA News.
And here in the studio with me to discuss more on the 2024 proposed budget is an economist, Dr. Chijioke Ikechukwu. Dr. Chijioke, thank you so much for joining us on News Extra.
Thank you very much. It's my pleasure.
Thank you so much. All right, the federal government has unveiled the spending plan of 27.5 trillion naira, which is the highest in budgeting in Nigeria's history. Do you see implementation as a challenge, or is this realizable?
This is a new government, and we expect that being a new government and being the first budget of this new government, we expect to have changes, especially in implementation. All that needs to happen is that we need to have fiscal discipline and fiscal discipline in responsibility in execution, which the president has promised. You know, so it's just for us to believe him and ensure that we support everything he has said he would do. I want to believe that he means well and that he will do what he said he would do.
All right. You know, human capital, capacity building and enhancing skills have been considered. How far can this go in retaining foreign investments?
Human capital involves a whole lot of things. It starts from the cradle level, where children, the kind of education the children are given, the kind of technical knowledge they have been given, the kind of training children have been exposed to, you know, the standard of education that we have to have from the primary to secondary, and in fact, up to the technical education. We need to emphasize a little more now of technical knowledge and technical education so that children, everybody must not go to university. People can really get technical knowledge in various aspects of life. You know, so that we can have more entrepreneurs, even from the lower levels, in order for them to be experts in whatever thing they do. There are many aspects that we can expect. And then we dovetail into the very skilled areas, people having good education and soft quality education in what they do. I expect that since the president said this is a priority for him, he can achieve this. And of course, the ways of achieving this and the means of achieving this, he already has, and so we expect to see what comes out of what he has promised.
All right. So what role should subnationals play in ensuring economic growth as states are currently having difficulties in paying salaries? This is crucial.
Yeah, very crucial. I was also going to talk about it. Subnational governments are supposed to key into the overall program of the federal government. You know, because when they stand aloof and allow federal government to do everything, the people that this budget will affect positively or negatively are located in various localities in all these local government areas and states. So we expect that every state government should be able to key into what the federal government is about to do. And each subnational state also has one particular thing in agricultural product, in solid minerals, in many other areas of competence. They are going to have superiority over other areas. So let every government tap into whatever thing they want to do and move along. Because if there is cohesion between the federal and the states and local government areas, we are going to be achieving the same result, the same purpose, and the objective will just be all achieved. So it is important that every state government keys into the national budget and national priority areas in order for us to achieve one common goal for the whole country. All right, now my next question is this. From the angle of an economist, cost of goods and services are increasing. Is the 2024 proposed budget a magic wand to reverse this? First of all, it is possible for us to achieve a reduction in the inflation rate. It is possible because all we need to do is just to identify the major drivers, the drivers of inflation in the country, and take them one after the other and find solutions and mitigants for each of them as we get into each of them. We know them. We know these drivers of inflation rate. And so once we're able to take them head on, we can actually achieve what has been projected, 21.4% of inflation for 2024. So all we need to do is just to identify these drivers and put mitigants to reduce them, and we can achieve that. We've been there before, so we can actually go as low as that in order to reduce prices and costs of doing business and living. Okay, we'll actually get there, but let's quickly talk about infrastructure deficit. Do you see this addressing this fully? Yes. Because implementation is actually key. Yes, I was impressed with the PPP mechanism the president said he's going to use. In fact, PPP is that which can actually develop the entire country infrastructure as fast as he may desire or we may all desire. Everything must not be funded by federal government. Everything must not be funded by state government. There are a lot of private investors all over the place looking for what kind of investment to get into. All we need to do is to get them in, have a total buy-in, and then let them develop all these things and make the money out of them. It's a kind of investment for everybody. So we just have to engage the private sector and engage the investors from all over the world into various sectors of the economy. That's a good development. All right, Dr. Chijioke Ezechukwu, I want to thank you so much for your thoughts. Thank you for joining us on News Extra. Thank you very much. It's always my pleasure. JACPA, the brain drain syndrome. When News Extra returns, we will look at its impact on Nigeria's economy and more reports on the economy thereafter.
Renewed Hope Initiative, a pet project of the First Lady, Federal Republic of Nigeria, Oluremi Tinubu, is up and running. Meeting targets, fast touching lives. Renewed Hope Initiative comes with a clear interventionist mandate, catering to the poor, needy, and vulnerable.
Empowering women is not just a slogan for us in the Renewed Hope Initiative, RHI, but a commitment towards a better life for families in every state of the Federation.
RHI, tending the weak, letting the poor breathe, bringing back the smile, leaving no one behind, changing the narrative towards a better family.
Where is Glory? Excuse me, ma'am.
Hello? Where Glow now?
I dey here.
Glow don't go village, tell all our customer abi.
Everybody pay attention. See, now Glow berekete 10x. Now him I dey take tension my customers. Now they dash me 10 times the credits when I load. Or even sama me double data join.
Yeah. Wait, so with 1.5 when they give all of us, so you dey enjoy up to
15,000 naira credit and data. And I say I never finish you. See, when I say if you enjoy, if you not join Glow berekete 10x, when I go get 1,000 naira welcome credits. Finish.
Glow, you don't win.
Una see dey here. Hello, please, I'm looking for Glow.
Please save now Glow be dey fine. Now Glow be dey go.
Okay, so
enjoy 10 times the value of your recharge on Glow berekete 10x. You also get 1,000 naira for calls and data and double data bonus on your subscription.
We are passionate about two things in Nigeria:
The first is football. The second is our rice. And nobody celebrates like a Nigerian. So, for every goal scored, every mark made, you can be sure to always come back home to rice. Celebrate with Nigerian Premium Big Bull Rice, homegrown just like you. Big Bull Rice, tasty rice, nourished you. And valleys of Nigeria's vast fertile fields.
Why is rice so expensive?
It is labor intensive.
And discovering future harvest heroes in Nigeria's premier inter-school agricultural quiz competition.
Which of the following is an example of a beverage crop?
Coffee. Correct.
Catch new episodes on NTA Network every Saturday at 6 p.m. and on Arewa 24 TV 5 p.m. every Sunday. Stay tuned.
You're still watching News Extra on NTA. Governor Peter Mbah of Enugu State commends President Bola Tinubu for his various economic policies, which he believes are now rubbing off on subnational governments. Correspondent Musbah Danwahab reports that the governor, who was at the State House, said he came to further discuss with President Tinubu on areas of collaboration. Governor Mbah revealed that his administration leveraged policies of the federal government, and it's working on how to attract more investors into Enugu State and make the international wing of the Enugu airport more active through cargo operations.
A lot of the things that he's doing at the national level is also rubbing off on us at the state level. The policies, the removal of the fuel subsidy, the unification of the FX. What that simply means is that you're going to have a lot of FDIs coming in, and so we're also going to benefit from that. As you may have also noticed, we are also doing a lot of trying to attract investors to Enugu State. And the fact that we now have the ease of investors bringing in their money and also being able to repatriate it as a result of the unification of the foreign exchange rates largely would rub off on Enugu.
Also acknowledged what he described as relative peace in Enugu after the stoppage of the sit-at-home orders of non-state actors in the southeast.
We have our workers go to work on Mondays, and the schools are open, the business activities, the economic activities are back. So what we're dealing with now is to erase that sad memory from our history.
Now, a bit from the judiciary, the Supreme Court has ordered that the old 200, 500 and 1,000 Naira notes coexist with the new notes as they remain legal tender until the federal government puts a process in place for their replacement or redesign after due consultations with relevant stakeholders. The 7 Member panel of justices headed by Justice Inyang Okoro in a unanimous judgment gave the order following a motion filed by the federal government through the Office of the Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice, seeking the order of the court to grant an extension of time for old Naira notes to remain in circulation. The government also prayed the court to lift its earlier order, which was given on March 3, 2023, believing that the extension of time is necessary as it has not been able to print the volume of new notes that would enable a phase out of the old currencies before the December 31 deadline. Meanwhile, the Central Bank of Nigeria has directed all its branches to continue to issue and accept all denominations of the banknotes to and from deposit money banks. In a statement, the Acting Director Corporate Communications, Sidi Ali Hakama, says this order is in line with Section 20 subsection 5 of the CBN Act 2007. The CBN urges the public to continue to accept the notes for their day-to-day transactions, embrace alternative modes of payment and e-channels to reduce pressure on the use of physical cash. In other news, President Bola Tinubu departs Abuja for Dubai to attend COP28 Climate Summit. The president will deliver Nigeria's stance on various thematic issues, including renewable energy and climate financing at the World Leaders Summit, which will take place on December 1 and 2, 2023, under the theme Unite, Act and Deliver. His discussion will also focus on holding businesses and institutions accountable, reflecting Nigeria's dedication to sustainable and responsible practices with active participation in key sideline events. And it's time to talk business, and our busy businessman, Benny Adams, is ready for us. Benny?
Thank you. And more on business. Amid the search for pathways towards sustainable economic development and sustainability, economic experts continue to lend their voices on the way to go as the 2024 proposed budget journeys through the National Assembly.
If you are a new hope, inflation is the first because it's a moderator. The second is the exchange rate. The third is the economic environment itself.
Now, the moment you are building an economy, the first requirement of bringing in investments after your infrastructure will be the human capital or skill sets that are certified.
Once we are able to create jobs, definitely GDP will grow.
And a quick look at the oil market. Oil edged higher on Wednesday as investors turned cautious ahead of a crucial OPEC Plus meeting to decide output policy in the coming months, while a supply disruption caused by a storm on the Black Sea provided a lift for prices. Brent crude futures climbed 3 cents to $81.71 a barrel, while U.S. West Texas Intermediate crude futures gained 17 cents at $76.58 a barrel. Both benchmarks gained about 2% on Tuesday on the possibility the Organization of Petroleum Exporting Countries and allies such as Russia will extend or deepen supply cuts, as well as concerns over Kazakh oil output and a weaker U.S. dollar. And on the market, the bulls are back as the oil share index appreciated by 0.34% at midweek trading. A total of 360.6 million shares in 6,579 deals, corresponding to a market value of 6.6 billion, were traded. Today's data shows 33% decline in volume, 18% improvement in turnover, but a 19% decline in deals. The current market capitalization is 39 trillion naira. Guarantee Trust Holding recorded the highest volume of 56.9 million traded shares, followed by Transcorp Nigeria 27.4 million and United Bank for Africa 21.4 million. That is Business News. Network News continues, while I say Extra News with Elizabeth.
Thank you so much, Benny. Japa, a slang used to describe mass exodus of people to foreign countries, has no doubt created a vacuum in skilled professions in Nigeria. This is premised on the desire to seek access to better services and improved living conditions offered in foreign lands. Well, Bolaji Akim takes a look at Japa syndrome and its brain drain impact.
is a Nigerian close.
According to an immigration expert, Victor Lutenko, about 70 million Nigerians live outside the country. He said 2,000 Nigerians legally leave the country almost on a daily basis, while between 300 to 500 live illegally. Migration is a natural phenomenon if it is done in a legal way.
Those 15 to 17 million Nigerians abroad, they do represent probably the biggest unexplored development potential of the country.
They are going to get knowledge, which we need at this point in Nigeria, to better Nigeria, to make things better. I don't mind.
A migration of skilled and qualified Nigerians to foreign countries in search of greener pasture has created serious vacuum in some skilled professions, especially in the health sector.
Is when we experience the so-called brain waste. It's when the doctors are leaving from Nigeria, and when they go abroad, they have to be taxi drivers. It's when, teachers from here are going into construction jobs. And in 2, 3, 4 years, they're completely losing their qualification.
Of great concern is that many of those who leave are faced with uncertainty as to which direction to go.
I'm not considering Japa right now. It's not an option for me. Instead, I will encourage everyone to believe yourself.
The fact that one person made it is not sufficient argument that people must close their shops. People actually who are worth in millions in this country sell it. Some borrow a lot of money and move it out.
The country does not need the Japa syndrome. It's difficult, but Japa syndrome is saying we're running away. Nigeria is impossible. Things are impossible. Let us reflect again. This is our land.
Stakeholders believe that government at all levels, religious leaders, and society in general need to rise up and take the bull by the horn to check the brain drain through the illegal Japa syndrome. In Lagos, Bolaji Akim, NTA News.
Thank you, Akim. We need to actually stop the Japa syndrome. Nigeria is actually getting better every day. Home is always home. Now, for Nigeria to fully attain her full potential as the socio-economic hub of Africa, she needs to create an actionable roadmap for economic revival as a structural solution that should be diligently followed by successive administration. This, the conclusion of a research report by Center of African Studies of Nanyang Technology University in Singapore. It was titled Back to Growth, Priority Agenda for Economic Revival of Nigeria. Larry Biley reports.
It is a report that identified various challenges facing Nigeria's economy. Factors such as reliance on fossil fuel, population growth, corruption were identified as major obstacles against economic growth. Amit Jain, head of the Center for African Studies in Nanyang University, highlights the way forward.
Nigeria has a large population. Demographic dividend is not going to flow unless the population has the right skills to make use of it, or the know-how to exploit those opportunities.
Captains of company, economists, and researchers that formed panel of discussants identified the problems and presented curative measures to the ailing economy.
Human capital includes young Nigerians, people who are going to work, and these guys need to be skilled. So they need to acquire not just soft skills, vocational skills, skills in science and technology.
Broadband infrastructure in the digital space, that is the business that we're in, but also other types of infrastructure that are fundamental to the efficient working of the economy.
The research project was undertaken by Center for African Studies of Nanyang Technological University in Singapore with a view to make recommendations for economic growth of the nation. In Lagos, Larry Biley, NTA News.
In 2022, extensive rice farms situated along the floodplains of the rivers Niger and Benue in Lokoja experienced flooding, causing significant destruction. The fertile lands hold the promise of relieving Nigeria of the burden of rice imports. Jonathan Omajali ventured into the Okumi-Banda axis of the floodplains to gauge the sentiments of over 500 farmers, capitalizing on the dry season to prevent Nigeria from retaining its position as a leading global rice importer. Jonathan, we are all ears.
Water, they say, has no enemy. Perhaps the other thing that has no enemy is rice. The floodplain of the river Niger is an expanse of land that stretches almost into infinity. Here, water and rice cohabit like two inseparable friends. Once the river Niger begins to recede, farmers from different parts of the country swoop on the land to plant rice. The immensely fertile land is supported with water from the river Niger, and within a space of 4 months, bags of rice are transported from the farm to different parts of the country. The Okomi Banda Aziz of the floodplain has over 500 farmers who toil day and night. Mahmoud Mekudi is one of them. To get to his farm, I had to gingerly navigate my way through the muddy water and sun-baked soil of the floodplains.
And that is why if government came in and give us the necessary assistance, one, it will create job. Two, it will raise the economic activities of the state.
The water is there, we have every resources, you have the land, the alluvial deposit is there. Every blessed year, you have total turnout of fertile land.
According to the latest Rice Outlook report by Economic Research Service of the U.S. Department of Agriculture, Nigeria is projected to import 2.1 million metric tons of rice in 2024, which may make the country the top rice buyer globally. Nigeria has the capacity to produce enough, but farmers like Mekudi lack the needed support. By this time in March next year, these farmers are expected to walk out of this farm with bags of rice, which will further help to reduce the importation of the produce to Nigeria. Of course, it's not an easy ride, because they are going to invest a lot of money into the farms between now and then. Sadly, some of the farms have already been abandoned.
It's not only the government, the private organizations should come up to help the government in all aspects of it. Because if after rice productions, you have what we call rice processing.
With the right support, this large expanse of land can save Nigeria the trouble of importing rice. In Lokoja, Jonathan Omajali, NTA News.
Thank you, Jonathan. And from agriculture, we now move to gender inclusivity, which is more and more being seen as a sure way to boosting Nigeria's gross domestic product. This inclusivity is viewed to be better achieved if existing gender gaps are bridged in all sectors of the economy. This, experts have said, will unlock between $9 and $22 billion into the Nigerian economy. Now, that will be something, really. Ngozi Teknike reports that this was at the 2023 Gender and Inclusion Summit held in Abuja.
Brainstorming with like minds to identify areas of need and mitigation strategy informed this gathering, with the singular aim of advancing economic development. Ensuring that no segment of the society is exempted, the advocacy centers on holistic integration of the 70% of Nigerian population under 35 years to harness the rich potentials in direct and indirect investment.
We need to also be intentional in driving messages through art that send hope and inspiration to young people. And these messages have to reflect our morals, culture, and values as a nation.
The sessions for this Gender and Inclusion Summit is really focused on picking what you can call nexuses, points of inflection, that if you change, it can cause rapid transformation at scale.
Core areas of focus include improving women economic empowerment program, participation of women in politics, reducing gender-based violence, and formulation of a national economic policy for youth development are being considered.
The real aim is to ensure that we are building a gender-inclusive society, so a society where everyone has a role, everyone's right is respected.
A number of things that that we need to really support. One is women's financial inclusion and access to finance. The second is women's access to markets.
This summit at the instance of Policy Innovation Center of the Nigerian Economic Summit Group revolves on the theme, Building Bridges, Advancing Gender and Inclusion through the Intersection of Trade and Health, is expected to come up with draft policy documents that, when implemented, will boost the nation's GDP. In Abuja, Ngozi Technical, NTA News.
Africa is bridging gaps capable of hindering the implementation of the Sustainable Development Goals before 2030. Representatives of African countries converged on Abuja for an acceleration meeting to strategize on how to localize actions for global impacts and all-round development of the continent. July this year, the UN Secretary General, Antonio Guterres, announced that only 12% of the SDG targets are on track, and some targets are regressing below the 2015 deadline. To this end, African countries are racing to meet the deadline, and this African multi-stakeholders meeting seeks to provide local solutions to factors impeding implementation.
The implementation of the SDGs is a key factor to achieving life of dignity, as it affects all human endeavors.
The catchword is leave no one behind. It means that every single life matters.
They revealed that since the adoption of the Agenda 2030, Africa has posted mixed results.
7 years remaining to the target of 2030, evidence is showing that the world is off track.
Performance is not in uniformity. Some countries are doing well on some, and some countries are not doing well on others.
We need to take decisive actions on how we can foster local actions.
SDG 7, 6, 11, 5 and 17, they say require political will of governments to drive full actualization. Elizabeth. The broadcasting organizations of Nigeria, BORN, will henceforth make election debates legitimate and compulsory for candidates seeking elective offices to enable electorate make informed choices. Director General, Nigerian Television Authority, Salihu Abdulhamid Dembas, stated this during his investiture as chairman of the umbrella body for broadcasting organizations in Nigeria. Adebola Brookslin was there.
From public to private broadcasting firms, media chief executives across the country, united in purpose, converged on Abuja for the investiture of the new chairman and vice chairman of the Broadcasting Organizations of Nigeria, BORN. Key players in the media space took turns to analyze the journey, achievements, and the way forward for the organization.
Today I want to report that Mr. John Ugbe and Dr. Liman were able to come together, and today we have a sustainable Society of Nigerian Broadcasters.
Dues, levies are part of what gives you a sense of belonging.
The ongoing advertising industry reform is going to restructure the entire space in such a way that the broadcast media can take value for their investment.
What I want to see BORN do is to create a training hub that must make sure it trains our human capital.
I invite the entire Nigerian today to join hands with BORN, with these great two gentlemen, to make a new beginning of a model of how elections have been taken.
After the transfer of leadership baton, the newly crowned chairman reeled out some of his programs.
Nigerians need to hear, directly from their candidates. And on the basis of that, they will be able to make their choice in terms of manpower, in terms of equipment, technological development, and what have you. So these are issues that we intend to sit down and look at with a view to changing the narrative for the better.
For the outgone chairman, John Ugbe, the Nigeria Broadcasting Awards is a legacy that must be sustained.
With the capacity building and the trainings with it and the reward, it means broadcasters to continue to work harder.
Already, Abdulhamid Dembas has shown a lot of leadership in NTA, and I think this will be replicated at the level of BORN.
He's already the kind of person that takes people along, about new initiative, about widening scopes and what have you. He's going to do very well.
The chairman, alongside the vice chairman, were elected on the 12th of October 2023 during the body's General Assembly in Abuja. Adebola Brookslyn, NTA News.
And congratulations to the new helmsman of Bonn. Now, the crucial roles being played by the Nigeria Deposit Insurance Corporation, NDIC, in collaboration with the Central Bank of Nigeria is yielding the desired result in stabilizing the nation's financial sector. The managing director of the corporation, Bello Hassan, discussed this at the opening ceremony of the 2023 NDIC FIC and workshop holding in Owerri, the Imo State capital. Kingsley Ononiwo reports.
Workshop is aimed at bringing together media practitioners in the country with a view to sensitizing them on the operations of Nigeria Deposit Insurance Corporation in order to fast-track the delivery of its message to the banking public. In his opening remark, the managing director, Nigeria Deposit Insurance Corporation, Bello Hassan, says despite the challenges of debt recovery, the deposit insurance system as a critical component of the financial safety net has continued to play critical roles in complementing the drive of the Central Bank of Nigeria in promoting stability in the nation's financial system.
We have regulation and supervision, you understand, to ensure that banks abide by the laws and regulation which is the basis of that the license they have. So I believe as we strengthen that process, the risk of failure is going to be to the barest minimum.
He also solicited the partnership of critical stakeholders towards assisting the corporation in the recovery of debts owed by bank customers and pleaded with the customers of failed banks to go to the nearest NDIC office for assessment.
If there's a way we can bring in all the stakeholders to make sure that any time we take our cases before the court, those cases are given expedited hearing so that justice can be dispensed. The depositors of those failed banks should come forward so that we can verify them in order to pay what we call liquidation dividend.
The event with the theme, Stock-taking of Deposit Insurance Practice, Assessing the Now, Evaluating the Challenges and Forecasting the Future, is being attended by the members of the Financial Correspondents Association of Nigeria and other stakeholders in Owerri. Kingsley Ononiwo, NTA News.
Let's shift attention to politics. Confederation of APC support groups described Nigeria's judiciary as the beacon of democracy and true reflection of what a modern justice system should represent. Director General of the group, Dr. Kailani Mohammed, was speaking during a media briefing on the recent attacks on the Nigerian bench and other national issues. Political correspondent Abubakar Akwanga reports.
In the wake of judgments across lower and upper courts, some Nigerians have knocked the judiciary for not having verdicts delivered in their favor, and the Confederation of APC support groups says justices were served in all cases based on proven integrity and legal principles, especially in Kano, Nasarawa, Plateau, and others.
The CJN has spoken. It's law that they work on, not emotions. All those casting as passions, denigrating our judiciary, it will not help them.
The group also appreciated the massive transformation ongoing in the oil and gas sector under Mele Kyari, road infrastructure and power, saying the journey has so far been promising.
Kyari initiated the construction of the 4,128 kilometers long Trans-Sahara gas pipeline championed by NNPCL with its Algerian and Nigerian counterpart.
Confederation of APC support groups urged Nigerians elites and opposition to bury their differences and embrace unity and development, which the Renewed Hope agenda represents. In Abuja, Abubakar Akwanga, NTA News.
Protest in Kano over police shooting. Join us again for security reports when News Extra returns.
Take it from me, the mind-blowing way to do things is the Glow LTE advanced way. When you stream, it's like you're in the drama itself. When you make calls, You reach where others can't. Cookie! Doing business is like running Wall Street from your street. And when you play,
I did beat the guy.
We'll see about that.
it's like traveling the world without moving an inch.
Is that Toby in your room?
You can download in the blink of an eye in 4K.
Go.
And when you go for your dreams, it's like running with the strength of 3 nations behind you.
Glow LTE Advanced, the power of 3 data networks in one. Get a Glow SIM or dial *301#.
Like Me Furniture is giving a discount up to 75% on their products. Wow! The more furniture I buy, the more free furniture I get. Life Made Christmas promo starts from November 3rd, 2023 to December 31st, 2023.
Life Mate. Your life mate forever.
I'ma keep winning till the world stops spinning. I'ma keep winning till the world stops spinning. I'ma keep winning till the world stops spinning. I'ma keep winning till the keep up with me. Come on, let's I'ma keep winning till the world stops spinning. Independent women, come on, now let's get it. I'ma keep winning till the world stops spinning. Africa, you feel me? Come on, now let's get it.
New styles from Darling. Find your beautiful.
Zuma Film Festival, the 13th edition of Zuma Film Festival, themed Cultural Convergence. Date 1st to the 8th of December 2023. Venue International Conference Center, Abuja. Zuma Film Festival, Nigeria's foremost national film festival, will feature free daily film screenings, film business discussions, NFC annual film lecture, co-production engagements, master classes, celebrity hangouts, location visits, foreign embassy special days, and lots more. Venue International Conference Center, Abuja. Attendance is free. For registration to participate and attend, as well as more inquiries, visit our website on www.zumafilmfest.com or our social media handles at Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube. Zuma Film Festival, Nigeria's National Film Festival, Nigerian Film Corporation, powering possibilities.
In a world hungry for goodness, with a splash of golden terra oil, a mom can transform a frown into a smile. Make a lunch hour a happy hour. Change no thanks into yes please. Provide care when our nearest and dearest needs it most. And resolve family feuds without blowing a whistle. Providing tasty, nourishing family meals is all that matters. The world needs moms, because where there are moms, there is hope, happiness, and love. Golden Terra Oil, or pure love.
Let me show you how I relax my hair regularly and still have such strong hair using my Mega Growth Relaxer. Let's go.
Times are tough. We know that as a mother, one thing you should never compromise on is your family's oral health, because they deserve the best. Oral-B, all-round protection. It's great value. It protects your mouth from harmful bacteria and also protects you against tooth holes and gum problems which can lead to tooth loss. It strengthens your family's teeth and gives them all-round protection. So remember, protect their future. Oral-B for healthier, stronger teeth in just 1 week.
Thanks for staying with the NTA. The Commissioner of Police, Kano State Command, Hussaini Gumel, has confirmed the death of one youth in Kano who was shot by a police inspector during a clash between two rival groups in Kano metropolis. Fatima Sanusi Karaye reports that the Commissioner, who ordered thorough investigation, reiterated the command's commitment to respect the rights and freedom of the people.
Protest has erupted at Kurnang Asabe, Fage local government area in Kano City following the shooting of 3 youths. According to eyewitnesses, one of the youth was shot at the neck and he died instantly. The remaining 2 were taken to the hospital for treatment.
Police shot him on his neck. The victim, who is known as Player, is not a troublesome person. Whoever knows him as a footballer.
He's a player of the Samba football team, Kano. Okay. I know most of you must have heard of him. We organized this protest as friends and colleagues for justice to be served.
NTA News was at the house of the deceased where sympathizers gathered to commiserate with the family of the victim, his mother, engrossed in grief. They called on the authorities concerned to, as a matter of urgency, ensure redress. The Commissioner of Police, Hussaini Gumel, said the command has already constituted a board of inquiry and has directed Dala, area commander, to lead the preliminary investigation.
We are not going to cover anybody who acted on his own peril as a police officer.
It was reported that on 28th November 2023, 2 youth rival groups at Kurnang Asabe in Fege local government area engaged in a fight. A police inspector who was not directed by Kano State Police Command fired shots, leading to death and injuries. In Kano, Fatima Sanusi Karaye, NTA News.
Still on security, troops of the Nigerian Army have uncovered 2 illegal weapon manufacturing factories in Plateau State and recovered 6 fabricated AK-47. The Director, Army Public Relations, Brigadier General Onyema Nwachukwu, announced this at a news conference in Abuja while giving updates on the ongoing exercise Still Waters 3, Enjoying Peace and Golden Dawn, flagged off by the Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Torid Lagbaja, in October this year.
Same troops of 3 Division Nigerian Army raided a suspected weapon fabricating factory at Vom village in Jos South local government area of Plateau State. During the operation, troops arrested 2 suspects and recovered 6 fabricated AK-47 rifle, 1 fabricated pistol, and 11 rifle parts. Troops of Operation Safe Haven raided a suspected arm fabricating factory at Ban village, Haipang district in Barkenladi local government area of Plateau State and arrested 5 suspects. Troops recovered 1 fabricated rifle, 1 short machine gun, 1 fabricated pistol, 7 unfinished fabricated rifles.
Details of the operations spanning 4 geopolitical zones covering 20 states indicate that 17 criminals were eliminated, 19 arrested, while 7 kidnapped victims were rescued.
The security forces will dominate the southeast. Law-abiding citizens have no reason to fear or be apprehensive. Those who are in the diaspora have no reasons to fear to come back home and celebrate with their loved ones.
Nwachukwu says operations carried out in the south, southwest, north central, and southeast, and the Federal Capital Territory so far recorded significant successes, noting that troops will dominate and secure major highways in the zones. Meanwhile, the Nigerian Air Force under Operation Delta Safe has destroyed 2 Cotonou boats at Arugbana near Okrika in Rivers State. Similar strikes were also conducted at a location southeast of Abise in Rivers State, northwest of Oma, Omama was also struck as it was observed to be containing items suspected to be stolen crude oil and objects tied in sacks. NAF says a component of Operation Delta Safe will continue to carry out its assigned duties until activities of these saboteurs are completely reduced to the barest. And the United Nations Development Programme and the Global Security Sector Reform Foundation have presented training manuals and equipment to the Nigeria Police Force for onward delivery to 4 police training colleges in the country. Francis Form reports that the presentation is part of the ongoing police reform with support from the Federal Republic of Germany.
This is the third time the UNDP and the Global Security Sector Reform will be presenting training and office equipment to the force as part of commitments to boost the morale of the personnel.
Our commitment to this noble mission involves providing essential training and procurement support in alignment with the aspirations of the NPF. In recent times, we have made significant progress, including the procurement of mobile barracks.
These resources are a testament to our commitment to enhancing your operational capabilities and fostering a professional working environment as part of the ongoing police reform funded by the Federal Republic of Germany.
DIG Frank Mba, who received the items on behalf of the IGP, says the support is invaluable and addresses some of the identified needs in the force.
These items couldn't have come at a better time because they will be adequately and efficiently deployed in our training institutions. I want to also reassure you that we will not just take these items there, we will also make sure that these items are effectively used and they will be used for the very purpose for which they are donated.
The UNDP and the Global Security Sector Reform are committed to promoting security sector reforms worldwide. Francis from NTA News.
From security, we now move to education. Al-Kalam University Katsina has held its second combined convocation ceremony for more than 9,000 graduates in various disciplines. Vice Chancellor Professor Nasiru Musa Yauri enjoined fresh graduates of the institution to make meaningful impact on society. Our Haliru reports.
Al-Kalam University is a community institution offering various opportunities to students from diverse backgrounds. The university, established in 2006, has joined the League of Universities in the country, making modest contribution to the development of education in Nigeria and beyond. In this second combined convocation ceremony, the university graduated 9,894 students, made up of 104 with first class. The Vice Chancellor of the university, Professor Nasiru Musa Yauri, called on well-meaning citizens of the country to support the university with projects.
For the completion of our library expansion, an auditorium which we do not have at the moment, students' hostel which is still inadequate, or a befitting computer laboratory.
Our graduates are found in most private and public sector organizations in Nigeria and making huge impact.
Al-Kalam University, being Nigeria's first private Islamic institution, has achieved its role of being the first of its kind to promote blending quest for knowledge alongside teaching Islamic values.
For eminent Nigerians, Emir of Katsina Alhaji Abdulmumini Kabir Usman, Emir of Kazauri Najib Hussein Adamu, Pro-Chancellor of the University Sani Zangwan Daura and Abdusamad Isiaka Rabiu were conferred with honorary degrees. Various merit awards and cash rewards were presented to best graduating students. Also, as part of the ceremony, a convocation lecture was earlier delivered by Dr. Usman Bugaji on the Almajiri phenomenon. In Katsina, Awal Halaru.
Meanwhile, academic doyens have joined the conversation geared towards tackling food insecurity and poverty in the country. This time, the body of researchers are leveraging University of Abuja's 4th annual colloquium as a launchpad for the initiative. Tokpe Alabi brings us details.
federal government is deploying necessary measures to guarantee food security aimed at ensuring surplus for domestic and export. And the Sultan Machido Institute for Peace, Leadership and Development Studies of the University of Abuja is seated at the driver's seat.
We must all work together to ensure that Nigeria is highly secured within the context of providing affordable food and reducing poverty.
It is for these strategic reasons that the renewed hope agenda of Mr. President has food security and poverty eradication as the two leading priorities of the 8 presidential priorities of the renewed hope agenda.
He declared a state of emergency on food security in Nigeria. And the National Assembly is also working with him to make sure that these challenges of food security in Nigeria is properly addressed.
Poverty and food insecurity are twin variables to the global food insecurity crisis.
Look at possibility of other MDAs, other organizations, be it civil society organizations, faith-based organizations, of establishing their own farms and ranches.
Most people that I know that are farmers have actually complained that these loans don't get to them, in as much as it's written on paper that yes, it's for them.
If we can encourage ourselves, if the government can dwell more on producing more in Nigeria here, I think it will sustain this poverty, and it will also reduce the food insecurity we are facing in Nigeria.
The colloquium essentially believes a renewed hope is possible for Nigerians to have access to safe and sufficient food that meets dietary needs. From the University of Abuja, Tokwe Alabi, NTA News.
Thank you, Tokwe. It's time to take another break. News Extra returns shortly.
National Council for Arts and Culture introduces the first National Stakeholders Conference on the review of the past 35 editions of the National Festival of Arts and Culture, NAFEST, a platform for holistic and robust deliberations on NAFEST for wealth creation and a key player in the creative economy, in line with Mr. President's renewed hope agenda. Acknowledging and honoring their excellencies, the executive governors of the 36 states and the FCT minister for their contributions to the success of the past 35 editions of NAFEST. Venue, Chida Hotel, Abuja. Date 5th to 8th December 2023. Time 10 a.m. daily. All stakeholders are hereby invited to come and let's celebrate the bond of unity that our cultural heritage brings. NAFEST, the festival that unites the nation. Announcer, Otumba Olusegun Rushewe, OON, Director General, National Council for Arts and Culture.
We don't like to eat better, more nutritious meals, more veggies, but we want it tasty and easy too. Knorr Cubes, that's the secret. Made with real ingredients like chicken, parsley, and garlic, and enriched with iron, so your meals are better for you and more delicious too. That's the cocoa. Let's give it some accolades. Change your world by changing what's on your plate.
Big day ahead.
Yummy, yummy, full of nourishment and vitality. Tea bodies and shop light. So yeah, Ovaltine 3 in 1. Ovaltine 3 in 1.
New Ovaltine 3 in 1. Smart choice for smart kids.
Joy, unleash taste.
Nigeria is a country blessed with a rich history, diverse culture, abundant resources and talent, with a population of over 200 million people and the largest economy in Africa. Despite this potential, Nigerians and the Nigerian economy has been denied the gains and benefits in the advertising industry due to importation of foreign adverts, talents, and offshore production of advertisements. Our local talents hold the key to unlocking creativity, innovation, and entrepreneurship in the country. An empowered advertising industry will have far-reaching economic benefits. The Advertising Regulatory Council of Nigeria, ARCON, is embarking on a series of reforms by creating an environment that values and supports local talents and businesses. Nigeria can tap into this immense potential and become a leading player in the advertising industry on a global stage if we all join hands to support and nurture local talents.
Introducing Mariam Babangida National Center for Women Development, a place of comfort and development with our beautiful renovated hotel. The center is also equipped with 1,700 capacity auditorium for conferences and seminars. Our restaurant offers African, continental, and Arabian cuisines, a daycare crèche for nursing mothers. There is also an ICT department for computer training, a training department for catering, tailoring, and hairdressing. Please contact Mariam Babangida National Center for Women Development, Tafawa Balewa Way, opposite CBN Headquarters, Central Business District, Abuja, or call 070-511-11163. Mariam Babangida National Center for Women Development, branding, restructuring, and repositioning.
Glad to know you're still there. The need for Nigerians from all walks of life, various religious affiliations, ethnic groups, cultural and political inclination to close ranks and develop the country has once again been emphasized. This was at the Thanksgiving service of Senator representing Cross River Southern Senatorial District, Senator Asupo Ekpenyong, for his victory at the 2023 general elections. Erica Ivy reports that the President of the Senate, Senator Godswill Akpabio, and other dignitaries attended the event.
The impact of Senator Asupo Ekpenyong was felt by his people as they thronged the church and reception venue to celebrate a man they describe as an amiable leader in a grand style. The officiating minister, Reverend Akimi Rimbe, in his message titled, "I Know the Lord Did It," advised Nigerians to inculcate the habit of thanksgiving to God in order to receive more blessings.
You're the one running around for one thing or the other. You're the one directing. But the victory is the Lord's.
Senator Asupo Ekpenyong and his dear wife Nathaniela, as part of the Thanksgiving service, dedicated their son Abasianam Ekpenyong to God. There were goodwill messages from the Senate President and other dignitaries who graced the occasion.
So let me assure all of us that the government of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has started well. The Senate is backing the government very seriously to succeed. It is not about party. It is about all of us coming together to give our country a proper direction. And we are here to thank God and to sow a seed for next year. And that seed is that Nigeria will prosper.
Family members expressed joy and gratitude to God for a successful day.
In His mercy and His goodness, He has continued to show my family unprecedented blessings.
We have to wait for big milestones or big events to thank God, but I think in every day we should take time, even if it's just 5 minutes, to give thanks to God.
Thank you to Father for what He has done to you. So we are very pleased.
Traditional dances spice up the reception. High point was the cutting of the Thanksgiving cake. In Calabar, Erica Ivy, NTA News.
Time to take our last break. More to come on Sports Updates.
With deep sorrow but total submission to the will of God, the family of Onwudiwe of Amokpala, Ameke Obioma in Udi local government area of Enugu State announces the passing on to eternal glory of our husband, father, grandfather, brother and uncle, whose sad passing occurred on the 12th of October 2023 after a brief illness. Mr. Cyril Chukuma Onwudiwe lived from 1953 to 2023. Burial arrangements, Thursday, 30th November 2023, time 5 p.m. Christian wake in his compound at Amokpala, Ameke Village, Obioma in Udi local government area of Enugu State. Friday, 1st December 2023. Time 7 a.m. Body leaves Eastern Nigeria Medical Center, Enugu, for his hometown, Obioma, Udi local government area, Enugu State. 8 a.m. to 9:30 a.m. Lying in state in his compound. 10 a.m. Requiem Mass at St. Teresa's Catholic Church, Obioma. 12 noon. Interment follows immediately in his compound. Reception follows thereafter at St. Teresa's Catholic Church Field. Sunday, 3rd December 2023, 9 a.m. Outing and Thanksgiving Mass at St. Teresa's Catholic Church, Obioma. Daddy, may your gentle soul rest in the bosom of the Lord. Amen. Chinonso Onwudiwe for the family. Announcer.
Hooray!
Hallelujah!
Let's celebrate!
FRC and NTA Voice of Nigeria Service of 9 Lessons and Carols is 20.
And the wind of Christmas is already blowing.
Oh yes, sis, I can feel it.
This 20th anniversary promises to be very exciting and melodious with different choral groups and soloists in attendance.
And children get set because Santa Claus will also be in town.
Date 3rd December 2023.
Venue, the National Christian Center, Central Business District, Abuja.
For advert placement and sponsorship, call Rate on 0803 451 2261.
Noma on 0806 249 8741.
BBN on 0909 965 1270. Keep a date with us.
Santa Claus is coming to town.
Something new is about to hit your imagination of TV. A brand new sundial with StarTime's inbuilt technology. New TV innovation with an inbuilt decoder that connects you to both StarTime's antenna and satellite signal. StarTime Sundial TV, you can enjoy over 300 local and international channels, 1 month StarTime's highest bouquet for free, automatic system updates. More benefits, more affordable. StarTime Sundial TV is available in all StarTimes branches and dealers countrywide. StarTimes Inside, entertainment inbuilt.
Like a bird needs wings to fly, you need skills to be productive. No matter the level of your education, ITF can train you to acquire skills in areas like mechatronics, metal machining, facility technology, electronics and computer networking, information and communication technology, ICT, culinary art, and agriculture. Acquire a skill and transform yourself from being unemployed to becoming even an employer. Be a valuable Nigerian youth. Say no to unemployment and poverty.
Oh, I'll spread my wings and fly so high. I'll reach for the stars, yeah, it's time.
Industrial Training Fund, developing the nation's human resource.
3, 2, 1.
Hi. Hello.
Can you see me? It's got my name on the cup.
Hi, Africa Magic. I would like to say happy birthday.
Congratulations to Africa Magic.
20 is a lot.
I was shocked that it's only 20 years of telling stories of passion.
Thank you for inclusion. Thank you for training me and raising me. Thanks for nurturing stars.
Today, if we are loved and celebrated around the world, Africa Magic has played a key role in that.
Happy birthday, Africa Magic. To the best of them all, we love you.
Congratulations from Bright Izigurugu, Badman Ball, Green Baby Hustler, Alaji with the long gun. Champagne.
Next, some sporting stories.
Despite having some injury concerns, the head coach of the Super Falcons of Nigeria, Justin Madugu, is optimistic that the Super Falcons will get the best of the results against their Cape Verde counterparts